So I had a session with my coach this morning, and from it, something came through that I found interesting to notice, and it's something that I want to share with you today, just because it so resonates with so many of the other things that I teach and know. So in this session that I had, I started, and at one point we were exploring some of the barriers that I had in regards to taking action in a certain part of my life. And what we looked at was I identified a few areas where I was carrying some fear and some feelings around fear and feeling exposed and vulnerable. And as I sat with them, I practiced sitting with them and feeling them more and more. And what I noticed was that as I was speaking, I'm really paying a lot of attention to myself as I was in those moments. And I noticed where my eyes were looking, and I was looking down at the ground as I was thinking these thoughts about the fear and the problems and the bad things that could happen. And then we went through an exercise, we went through a couple of steps, and of course, the outcome was that I stepped out of that fear and I felt really fucking empowered and ready to just take all this on and wasn't feeling encumbered by that at all. I felt powerful. I felt confident. I felt certain and very optimistic. And I noticed that at that time, I was outside at the time. I was going for a walk when I did my call. And I was in the Melbourne CBD today. And I noticed then that I was looking up and looking around at the tops of all of the buildings and all of the skyscrapers all around me. Now, this wasn't an intentional or a deliberate thing, but it is so interesting to me that when we are feeling good, when we're feeling powerful and connected and on top of our game, our eyes drift upwards. We are looking up. We are optimistic. We see the sunny side. We look upwards. And in this state, when we're looking up, we are in a more receptive state. We're more optimistic. We have better ideas. We're more creative. All of those things are associated with the state that you're in when you're looking up. And also, if you look up, you can enter that state. It's this very interesting sort of backwards hack. If you feel a bit down, look up. You'll start seeing things differently. You'll feel differently quite quickly. It's quite profound. And it's very interesting when you ask someone or you have someone and they start to talk about a bad thing, a negative thing, something that they don't feel so good about. And you watch them, it's like a balloon, it's been popped, and they just start to and you can hear the strength drain from their voice. And bit by bit, they just become these smaller, weaker versions of themselves. And if you don't snap them out of that, they'll just leave in that crumpled, frail state. And when we do that, we look down and the world seems narrower and darker and scarier. Fewer options. And so, the point of this story, there's two things here that I really want to emphasize. Number one is how much information our body and our physiology can give us about how we might be feeling if we just pay attention. If you're talking about something and you're listening to the way that you're speaking, or you're paying attention to where you're looking, and that probably gives you a good clue as to how you might be feeling about the thing. Or vice versa. When you're feeling really optimistic and awesome, well, you probably don't need to notice that as much. You might as well just go crush some goals. That's probably not a thing you need to be mindful of in the sense of, oh no, I'm really optimistic right now, I better do something about it. That one less so. But the other part of this, as I mentioned earlier, is how you can use these and sort of bypass them. If you want to feel really crummy really quickly, super easy. Slouch, look down, sag your shoulders forward. You'll feel shit in no time. Works like a charm. Super reliable. Why would you want to do that? But the inverse is true. If you're not feeling that powerful, that grounded, that connected, or that confident, okay. Look up. Chest out, shoulders back, chin up, pointing out, facing forward. And take a few steps in that state and you will be shocked at how quickly your mind changes. How your thinking might become clearer. It's quite profound, and you should notice that if you do this and you slow down, you're sensitive enough and you're paying attention, you're really listening to how you feel, you should notice something. And if you notice something, then keep doing it again and again and again until you're just always constantly in this state of just being resourceful and switched on and creative. And more good things will come to you. You're going to feel better and better. You're going to be looking up more. And then you're going to just be strutting around town, not in some cocky, arrogant way, but just because you feel so awesome and so many great things keep happening to you. You can't help but look around and see all the opportunities in the world around you. It's kind of cool. I'd kind of recommend it. In fact, that's exactly what I'm doing. So wherever you are right now, listening to this, watching this, lift your chin, stick your chest out a little bit, and listen to yourself and pay attention to how you might feel as you have this more confident, this more powerful posture. Really ask yourself, really notice, do you feel better when you do that? And if you do, isn't that amazing? The implications of that are vast. So if that makes you feel better or more powerful, keep doing it. And thank you for your time. This brings us yet again to the end of one of my videos. If you like this, you like me, you like what I talk about or how I talk about it, hit subscribe. Because I make a new video every single day. And if you want to see what I talk about tomorrow, you should probably hit subscribe so you can make sure that you don't miss that. Okay. Thank you again for your time. Stay powerful. Keep your head up. And I look forward and hope to see you in the next video.